The phenomenon of globalization is ubiquitous. It's not the exclusive property of industrialized world. All nooks and corners, cities and villages around the globe feel the impact. As we enter the second decade of the new millennium, we recognize the immeasurable contributions of large global corporations like Qualcomm, Nestlé's, Microsoft, and the like. Recently, Qualcomm celebrated its quarter century of operations in San Diego, its global headquarters. Paul Jacobs, who took over from Irvin as CEO 5 years ago, said, "The company contributes to maintain the culture of innovation that it had in its early days." Looking ahead, both men believe the future of wireless technology is bright. They see wireless healthcare, wireless education, mobile commerce, and the proliferation of wireless technology in other devices as boding well for the industry. Let us now examine the significance of the innovation from a global perspective. World population is exploding. It was 3 billion in 1960. 3 decades later, 1990, 2 more billion people brought up the total to 5 billion. Yet, 2 more billion got added to a total of 7 billion only in 2 decades. The driving force for the new economy, as described by the global thinker Dr. Miguel Cardenas, the proliferation of information and telecommunication technology, T. This led to the explosion of new knowledge, which is K, and the reinvention of the government and the governed, which is E. We will have more occasions to elaborate on this trio of concepts, E, T, and K, during the course of this presentation. Let's examine this phenomenon from the point of view of a major emerging economy, India. A major Indian newspaper, Deccan Herald, had a catchy headline on Tuesday, September 7, 2010. India has 46.7 million high-income households as compared to 41 million in the low-income category. According to the estimates on earnings and spendings gathered by the National Council of Applied Economic Research. Consider the implication of this number from the point of view of wireless technology referred to earlier. Yet another promising information of September 2010 emanating from Som Mittal, president of NASSOCHAM, National Association of Software and Services Companies, is that India is likely to quadruple industrial growth to $225 billion by 2020. Mittal emphasized the fact that many IT firms are going also global and that India has become the second largest investor in the United Kingdom. NASSOCHAM, in another press release on July 28 of 2010, predicted that small towns will generate 3.8 million incremental IT jobs by 2020, thereby increasing the total in the Indian IT sector to around 10 million people. Meera Shankar, Indian ambassador to the United States, commented on July 27, 2010 at a seminar co-organized by the Inter-American Development Bank and Woodrow Wilson Center and the Asian Society that India offers huge opportunities for Latin American trade. This is evident from the new global economic realities, where the proliferation of information and telecommunication technologies remain as a major driving force. Dr. Miguel Cardenas also predicts the outcome of these new global economic realities to the intense global change, surprises, and conflicts demanding foresight and intuition, visioning systems, thinking approaches, along with adaptation and flexibility. To be successful in the new world, it is important to have a global perspective, and capability visioning has to go beyond the immediate environment. He recommends that one should have a sense of global curiosity and a willingness to open our minds to other cultures. Global curiosity should lead to an understanding of the new world system from a geophysical, ecological, economic, social, and individual strata perspectives. The key ingredients is a resolve for achievement. Accordingly, Dr. Cardenas proposes 3 C's for success: capacity, competence, and commitment. Capacity refers to the set of resources that define our potential using the ETK model, where E refers to emotional or human dimension, which is the ability to monitor one's own feelings and emotions, to discriminate among them, and to use this information to guide one's thinking and action. T refers to technology, which is a basic tool to deal with globalization. Technology is a necessary but not a sufficient condition for success. The third component, K, refers to knowledge. Management of knowledge provides a means to achieve profitability in addition to organizational and individual growth. In a major applied research at the Doctor of Business Administration at the DBA level carried out by Jorge Cardenas and reported in another ITC video conference, Jorge found that E has the most positive influence on faculty satisfaction, while T was ranked second and K was given the third place. He commented that moods and emotions play a significant role in determining attitudes and behaviors. He also observed that to use and understand technologies, individuals must have certain socio-emotional skills. His results showed that attention should be given to the improvement of the ETK competencies in order to increase the faculty satisfaction. His empirical analysis provided a new approach for the diagnosis of educational institutions. Additional work by various researchers is focusing on similar empirical validation of the ETK model in manufacturing, sports, energy, health systems, tourism and hospitality, and other key sectors worldwide. Dr. Miguel Cardenas suggests that ETK can be visualized hierarchically under the proposed PMI model, where PMI stands for potential, mastery, and initiative. Potential is built with a combination of the elements E, T, and K, such as ETK, ET, EK, TK, E, T, and K. Mastery is acquired or learned. This needs to be verified and certified. The third component, initiative, in the PMI model, needs to be developed through vision, that is, what are the probable future states, and then a mission, why, and global strategies and plans, how. Dr. Cardenas points out that visioning the future is not the same thing as planning. It is both an art and a science which uses logic and intuition, and it requires training and practice. Given the uncertainties and complexities of the global reality, visioning the future using the systems approach has become increasingly essential for our personal and organizational success. The video seminar program is an example of a distance activity and is recognized as a key global competence today. By definition, distance activity is a process of interactive communication in which sender and the receiver are not always present in one same location or moment of time. At the outset, we have talked about the 3 C's, representing capacity, the ETK model, competence, mastery of knowledge and skills, and commitment, expressed through intention, action, and results. This is realized through human networks, which are effective only when they are global and highly intensive in the 3 C's. The intensity of the C's is closely related to the levels of success measured in a 100-point scale. A global outlook towards human networks inevitably brings with it a mix of different cultures and values. Human aspirations may be described in quantitative and qualitative measures which could reflect the social, economic, and political development of the region. However, we should recognize that a common aspiration of all individuals, irrespective of their background, is improve well-being. Accordingly, as we share global knowledge that transcends time and generations, we generate wisdom, which then becomes the core of future leaders of the new world. Wisdom management is therefore a discipline in itself. Propagation of this global knowledge requires strong leadership, as per Cardenas. An accomplished leader should be able to convince others towards a common goal, making the correct decision consistently, and always using and promoting global perspective. This leads us to the 3S model, depicting synchronization, sustainability, and solidarity and sharing. Synchronization is defined as the process of linking elements, events, and actions so that they occur at the same time or in a predetermined sequence. At the organizational level, synchronization refers to aligning our internal and external strategies, tactics, and goals. We have given an ample example, an illustration of this concept in several other ITC video conferences. In one of them, I dealt with the relevance of ETK approach in the synchronized strategy to the 5 levels of environmental turbulence proposed by the world-famous strategist Dr. Igor Ansov, who proposed a strategic diagnosis tool to measure and improve alignment between the 3 variables: environmental turbulence, strategic aggressiveness, and the general management capability responsiveness for optimal performance. In another important ITC presentation, I focused on the implementation of organizational synchronization. My presentation was divided into 3 parts. The first part introduced background literature of the ETK concept and synchronization. The second part focused on the synchronization within and between the E, T, and K of the ETK model. This is followed by synchronization in the context of the environmental turbulence. Organizations that are successful are the ones that develop strategies, tactics, and operations by synchronizing elements of their external environment elements such as customers, competition, community, suppliers, and other inputs with elements of their internal environment such as emotions, technology, knowledge, information, and finance. The compatibility between external and internal elements influencing synchronization is studied in a dynamic framework when changes occur at different levels of turbulence over an extended time horizon. The third part was divided to the description of 5-level approach to classify organization in terms of its degree of internal and external synchronization and its corresponding level of performance and global competitiveness. Let me now focus on the second S of Dr. Miguel Cardenas' model, which refers to another very popular term, sustainability. Wikipedia describes sustainability as the capacity to endure. From an ecological point of view, sustainability provides a description of how biological systems such as wetlands and forests remain diverse and productive over time. Recently, this magic term has caught the imagination of world bodies such as United Nations. A more detailed presentation of this topic will be given in another ITC segment. The third S is concerned with solidarity and sharing, the ability to give and to receive so that you help to strengthen others and also remedy your own weaknesses. A typical example of the concept is the ITC annual video conference series, where the message spread worldwide to different continents around the globe via a network of multiple modalities, media, and delivery technologies. The ITC Magna Carta, a declaration of the philosophy and the principles of ITC organization, which is available at www.itcsandiego.com, states in one of its precepts, sharing knowledge is the most important and urgent responsibility we now have as a globalized society in order to reduce the growing gap of productivity and socio-economic well-being between nations and communities around the world. In particular, we must all strive to acquire and share global knowledge, as this provides the framework that we need to collaborate in the spirit of mutual commitment and benefit. Another laudable goal described in the ITC Magna Carta is our contemporary electronic global village offers us an unprecedented opportunity for shared distance education, training, and exchange like never before. A new global phase of mankind requires that we all engage in competition, cooperation roles with one same human spirit of competitiveness that values continuous learning as the key for our shared success. With the recent explosion of information and knowledge, wisdom must become a mandatory goal for all scholars and learners in society. And this now includes all of us. Yet another organization founded by Dr. Miguel Cardenas, which helps to spread and share this immeasurable wealth of knowledge, is San Diego Global Knowledge University, SDGKU. He recognizes that developing human competence to work at a distance and in networks is an urgent need within education, business, government, and civil society. Its pioneering global competency certification program in organizational synchronization is offered online in both English and Spanish at www.sdgku.com. To conclude, organizational synchronization, or OS, offers a unique, globally oriented, in-house approach and methodology to take your intentions and visions into actions, and then those actions into measurable results. OS competence is particularly essential today, given the intensive global dynamics of our world reality. Dr. Cardenas's unique 3 C's and 3 S's use a strategic roadmap for development and performance at the individual, organizational, and community levels. These are not times for contemplation and vision only. We must all perform and produce results in our endeavors in order to compete and grow towards our aspirations as one global society with a common origin. Competitiveness and excellence should not be just buzzwords, since we now have a practical framework to achieve them. I invite you to synchronize and perform. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. And now we go to Module 2 of this program.